In its third episode, The White Lotus Season 3 continues to unravel the tangled lives of its wealthy guests, exposing the simmering tensions beneath the surface of their luxurious getaway. The meaning of dreams leans heavily into the theme of subconscious fears manifesting into reality, foreshadowing darker turns ahead. The episode begins with Victoria Ratliff, Parker Posey, waking up in a cold sweat from a vivid nightmare. She dreams of being engulfed by a massive tsunami, unable to escape as water fills her lungs. At breakfast, she shares her unsettling vision with her family, a seemingly innocent moment that subtly reflects the underlying turmoil in their lives. Her husband, Tim, Jason Isaacs, is preoccupied, constantly glued to his phone, receiving calls that hint at legal trouble surrounding his business dealings. His attempts to brush off the tension aren't fooling anyone, least of all Victoria, who grows more suspicious with each hushed conversation. Meanwhile, their children are each dealing with their own conflicts. Their eldest, Piper, Sarah Catherine Hook, is seriously considering extending her stay at a meditation retreat, much to her mother's dismay. Lon, Fred Heckinger, the middle child, has become obsessed with learning about body language, convinced that understanding nonverbal cues will help him manipulate social situations. And then there's Saxon, Patrick Schwarzenegger, who remains oblivious to the family's troubles, continuing his streak of reckless behavior, partying and indulging in every vice available. The tension at the breakfast table is palpable. Victoria's dream isn't just a dream, it's a warning. The tsunami is coming, in more ways than one. Elsewhere at the resort, Rick Walton Goggins, and his much younger girlfriend, Chelsea, Amy L. Wood, decide to venture into town, hoping to shake off the stress that's been weighing on Rick since they arrived. They end up at an underground snake show, where Chelsea watches in horror as a handler displays venomous serpents in a dimly lit backroom. Things take a chaotic turn when Rick, already under the influence of too many drinks and some questionable edibles, impulsively jumps onto the stage and frees the snakes. The handler screams in panic as the creatures slither into the crowd. Before anyone can react, Chelsea lets out a blood-curdling shriek. One of the snakes has bitten her. The next scene is a blur of motion, Rick trying to carry Chelsea out of the chaos, locals shouting, and a frantic race to find medical attention. Chelsea survives, but the bite serves as a wake-up call. Is she really safe with Rick? Back at the resort, Belinda, Natasha Rothwell, is settling into her new role as spa director when she spots a familiar face, Greg, John Grease. He's dining at the resort restaurant under the alias Gary, accompanied by his girlfriend, Chloe, Charlotte Lubon, and a group of other guests. Belinda's blood runs cold. Greg, once the husband of the late Tanya, is alive and well, living under a different name. When she approaches him, he flat out denies knowing her. The encounter turns sinister when he lowers his voice and warns her not to stir up trouble. Belinda is shaken. She knows what Greg did to Tanya, even if no one else does. But will she speak up? At dinner, Jacqueline, Michelle Monaghan, Kate, Leslie Bibb, and Lori, Carrie Condon, find themselves in an uncomfortable conversation when political tensions arise. Kate's openly conservative views clash with Jacqueline and Lori's more progressive stances. What begins as a casual conversation quickly escalates into thinly veiled insults and passive-aggressive jabs. As the evening drags on, it becomes evident that their long-standing friendship is hanging by a thread. The resort's intoxicating atmosphere is bringing out the worst in them, and it's only a matter of time before something breaks. As the episode comes to a close, an eerie sense of doom lingers in the air. Belinda watches Greg from a distance, torn between fear and the need for justice. Chelsea, recovering from her snake bite, begins to reconsider her relationship with Rick. Victoria, unable to shake her nightmare, senses that her family is on the verge of collapse. Then, in the final moments, a storm rolls in. The sky darkens. The waves crash against the shore with an unnatural force. The tsunami is coming. Episode 3 of The White Lotus Season 3 is a slow burn, but it masterfully builds tension. Victoria's dream is more than symbolic, it's an omen. With every passing episode, the cracks are widening, and disaster feels inevitable. Will Belinda expose Greg? Will Chelsea finally leave Rick? Will the Ratliff family survive their secrets? Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss out on our latest media breakdowns.